Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News in association with Vote Boxing, and I'm joined by Aaron McKenna. Aaron, how are you today, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you keeping?
I'm very well, thank you. Before we jump into your big fight with Shakiel Thompson on obviously just changed to June 16th as well, a bit of a fight that has a bit of needle in it. I do want to talk about your amateur achievements, if that's okay. I've done a bit of digging. 8-time national champion. I mean, I think that's the most amount of amateur championships that I've read out to a fighter, mate. What does it mean to you to kind of think back of those amateur achievements that you've won?
Yeah, I think it was incredible. The amount I won as an amateur. I traveled all over the world competing at the highest level in the best events. I was 8-time national champion, like you said, European schoolboy champion, European junior silver medalist. And then in my last amateur tournament, I won the mini world championships, where I beat the world champion in that tournament. So yeah, I achieved a lot. Traveled to Russia 6 times, so getting great experience as an amateur. Now it's all about taking that into the pros. I've seen every style that I could possibly see in the amateur, so whoever's in my way in any of my fights, like I've nearly seen all the styles, so that's the kind of experience I'm carrying now into the pros.
Perfect, mate. Obviously, and I think correct me if I'm wrong. Are you the youngest Irishman to turn over pro?
I think it was at the time.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what it is now, but yeah, at the time I turned, as soon as I turned 18, I signed pro, and then I had my first fight like 2 or 3 months later. It was always something in my head. I always wanted to be pro since I was young, and I always had my style developed to be like a pro boxer. Even when I was very young, I first went to America when I was 16, and I
Right.
actually sparred a world champion at that time, Jesse Magdeleno, as a 16-year-old. So the experience I've even had since a young age has been unreal.
I was gonna say that's a bit mental that sparring a world champion at 16, obviously at 16, and then turn over pro at 18. I mean, I talked to all of you guys, like obviously there's probably no nerves on the surface, but when you're first going into that sparring session, mate, do you feel any nerves, or is it more kind of a motivation to go forward?
Yeah, it's more excitement really. Buzzing to be getting the sparring. Better the sparring, the better you improve as a fighter. And I was always excited. When I was 16, I spent 3 months over there in LA sparring at all the best gyms in Los Angeles. So yeah, it was just really exciting seeing all that for the first time. See, over here in Ireland and even in the UK, you wouldn't really have seen much of the pro fighters, and it's like a totally different style in America. So it was unbelievable experience I gained over the years. I spent 4 years in America then when I turned pro. So the experience I've had is unbelievable.
Definitely, mate, and you are pushing that into the pros, and obviously I do want to touch on your fight with Shakiel Thompson. Obviously, just moved to June 16th, a little bit of a delay. But obviously there was a bit of back and forth between yourself and Shakiel at the Akoli Light press conference. I mean, is that how this rivalry started?
Yeah, he called me out. I didn't even know who he was before that. Like, yeah, he hasn't really fought many good fighters. He's 10-0, and he's fought 10 journeymen. So that's the type of level he's on. So he's called me out, and I have to take care of business. It's for a WBC international belt. It's going to be on Sky Sports, so it's going to look great for TV. Two undefeated fighters going at it. He's a big, tall fighter like myself. I think he's going to be bleeding at the weight. He's used to fighting at super middleweight, so he's bleeding himself down now to 160 because he's afraid to fight the super middleweights, I think. So I think he's gonna lose most of his size and strengths, and I'm gonna take him to deep waters.
Perfect, and obviously huge platform for yourself. How has the camp gone for this fight?
Yeah, it's going brilliant. It's going to plan. I train very hard for all my fights, and I treat every single one like it's a world title fight. And this one's no different. I'm putting in serious hard work, and I'm leaving no stones unturned. I'm really looking forward to this one now, and I'm getting some great sparring. And over the next few weeks, it's just all about getting better and fitter and stronger. And I feel like I'm getting really strong going into this fight.
Definitely, and you said you were going to drag him into deep waters. Obviously, you also said that he's coming down from super middle for this fight as well. A lot of people have picked this fight to be kind of the fight of the night on June 16th. Kind of how does this fight between yourself and Shakiel end, and do you think it will be fight of the night?
I think so, yeah. I think it goes in my favour. I always go for the knockout, and that's exactly what I'll be doing when I'm in there. I'm going for the knockout. I think he's going to fade after a few rounds. He doesn't have an engine. Even at super middleweight, he kind of gasses, and it'll be even worse when he makes 160. So I hope he does the weight properly, because I want to see the best Shakiel Thompson in there. I want someone to bring the best out of me, but I'll be bitterly disappointed if this fight goes the distance.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to it on June 16th, Aaron. I do want to touch upon, obviously, all going well June 16th, that it goes your way, you get the win. There are obviously a few fighters that you might have called out, and I know your brother's keen on definitely one of these names, but then also Liam Williams called you out on Twitter, which I think a lot of people were a bit surprised at. But providing it all goes well June 16th, is that a fight that you're looking at?
Yeah, definitely. That's one I have my eyes set on. Liam Williams. He's struggling to get fights at the minute, but I'll fight him no problem. He wants to take care of Shakiel Thompson first. That's my main focus. But yeah, after that, I'd definitely love a fight with him. He's ranked high with the WBC, and a win against Liam Williams would definitely put me in contention for a world title fight.
Perfect. And I do want to mention one more name. I know that when I've spoken to your brother before, he's mentioned Florian Marku's name. Is it going to be a race between you and your brother who fights Florian first?
Well, I'd be too heavy for Florian Marku, so there's absolutely no chance he'd take a fight with me, but he should take a fight with Stephen. Stephen's been calling him out this last 2 years, and not once has he said anything back, because he's feared for his life. That's a sign of a guy who's no interest in fighting someone. He won't even say anything, but he gives attention to a lot of these other fighters. So I hope he gets that fight with Stephen, and Stephen would knock him out, but I don't think he'd take it.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to that one, and I do want to ask you about the one of the big fights on the weekend. Obviously, fellow countrywoman, let's say, Katie Taylor fighting Chantelle Cameron. I want to get your word on that fight, Aaron. How do you see that fight going on Saturday?
Yeah, it's a brilliant fight, especially for Irish boxing, and Katie Taylor's doing tremendous stuff for Irish boxing, not only Irish boxing but world boxing as well. But I think Katie Taylor wins that fight. It's going to be a tough fight for her. She's fighting a good, strong girl as well, Chantelle Cameron. So it's going to be an interesting fight, but I think Katie Taylor wins it.
Perfect. And my final question, Aaron. Thank you for giving me your time today, mate. We ask everyone on the channel this one. What does boxing mean to you?
It means everything to me. It's my life. I dedicate my whole life to boxing. My goal is to become world champion, and that's the plan. I'll make sure I leave everything in the gym to make sure I become world champion, and then 100% effort and stay dedicated and focus. That's the whole plan now. Focus on June 16th. Take care of Shakiel Thompson.
Perfect. Well, Aaron, we look forward to seeing it, mate, and best of luck June 16th.
All right. Thanks very much.